Welcome to the weekly dose of Emuna for Shabbat Kodesh, the beauty of Shabbat. You know, every Shabbat, the sanctity, the beauty of Shabbat begins to enter the world. So I want to talk a little bit about how we can better appreciate Shabbat, how we can utilize what it has to offer, and absorb as much Kedusha from it as we possibly can. You know, you can utilize something only after you've first known what it really is. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people don't take advantage of Shabbat, and they are not able to gain the beauty and the greatness that it has to offer because they really don't know. Many of us, including myself, we don't know the extent of what Shabbat can really offer us. So let's see if we can kind of talk about that a little bit. As far as a whole, look, we all know that Shabbat is very holy, it's spiritual. We understand that to a large degree. We understand that it's the crown of the Jewish people. Baruch Hashem, today we learn a lot of Torah, we keep a lot of mitzvot in a mahudar way. We really do make sure we try as best as we can. We understand we get the neshama yitara every Erev Shabbat, and that it gets taken away from us Motzei Shabbat. And we really understand that it's something very exalted, something very, very lofty. What Rashi actually brings down is that the neshama yitara is an expansiveness of the heart. In other words, our heart expands so that we can rest and be joyful. The quality of being open wide is now made available for us so that we can better appreciate life. So Baruch Hashem, we have this gift. We are able to, Baruch Hashem, commit ourselves to the Yiddishkeit and keeping Torah and mitzvot. And we understand how important it is for us to also have a relationship with Hashem. But unfortunately, in today's world, many of us go ahead and perform our Torah and mitzvot way of life. But we tend, so to speak, to leave Hashem out. Let's try to understand that concept. If we're really going to compare our lives to the lives of the past generations, we're going to find that some Rebbeim even call this generation and generations from the past up until now what's called Yeridat HaDorot. There's sort of a weakening of the generations as we compare ourselves to the past generations. We're able to do less and less on one hand. Now, let's just understand that in the spirit of the way that we keep Torah and mitzvot today, we're very heavily influenced by the non-Jews. Okay, our lifestyle as a whole, including what we see as being proper and ethical and beautiful, is greatly affected by the society that surrounds us. Okay, our basic attitudes towards things, they've really changed a lot. It has a lot to do with the Western culture around us. And unfortunately, as the Western civilization, their ethical and moral society value system breaks down, it unfortunately affects us as well, and the way that we live with Hashem and the way that we perceive our entire avodas Hashem. We can do something about it, though. We are certainly capable of changing the attitude that we perceive the world around us and what we've picked up as being the modern way of life, and we can return to truly living with Hashem as we have done in the past generations. One of the things that we're lacking at most is what's called Hadar. Hadar is actually another name that alludes to Melech HaMashiach. Hadar basically means sweetness. Hadar means beauty. It means our ability to look at Judaism as something beautiful, as something delightful. As it's written in Shir HaShirim, his palate is sweet and he is all delight. Do we really look at Yiddishkeit with the sense of simple beauty, of something amazing that brings us joy? Now, one of the really profound characteristics of the Jew throughout all of our past generations was the ability to be besimcha no matter what. The ability to be besimcha, in fact, as the Hebrew language has many terms to describe the idea of simcha. There's simcha, there's Gila, Rina, Ditza, Chedva, right? And as we know, each group of people that has something that they want to emphasize that's essential in their lives, have a lot of words for it. And so obviously if there's so many terms to describe the idea of joy, then obviously it's something that Hashem wants us to emphasize. But unfortunately, Jews today do not live with that much simcha. Unfortunately, what happens in today's world is that the soul by nature is so thirsty and it doesn't get what it needs. It becomes hungry, and when the soul gets this feeling of lack, it makes us sad. And so the idea that we need to examine most in our generation is to examine ourselves and see how much true simcha we really have. How much do I enjoy my Yiddishkeit, my way of Torah and mitzvahs? Do I emphasize in my life the relationship with Hashem? Am I caring of Hashem? Do I care about what He thinks and feels about me? And do I try to make Him happy? And do I know that He's taking care of me? And that's essentially what we need to be looking at in today's generation, and particularly as we prepare for Shabbat Kodesh. So let's take a moment before Shabbos this week and see if we can take a look at our simcha and work on it and see where we've gone wrong, where we've gone astray, and work on that simcha and see the beauty of Shabbat and bring back the Hadar into our Shabbat. Be'ezrat Hashem, hopefully we'll see a tremendous difference in our lives. Have a great Shabbat.